Hey everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Today is 7/11/2025. Okay, here's what we've got going on in this video. I've got a lot of really cool things I want to share with you guys in this video. But first things first, let me make sure the chat's working. I've been through quite an ordeal these last 24 hours. With the computer, it's almost like we got hacked yesterday afternoon. The live, there's two different types of lives. There's a webcam live, and then there's the live like we're using right now, which is OBS. For some reason, OBS, I saw something come across the screen that looked like a control room of some sort. There were monitors everywhere and lights just very briefly. And the next thing I know, it was off. I could still see the chat. Hey, everybody. But I don't know what happened. I'd never seen anything like that. It was as if the computer was being visited. I don't know. I'd never seen anything like it. It was like I got hacked, basically. But anyway, in this video, first things first, if you guys are in northern Illinois, northern, eastern, you can see, you don't need me to tell you, eastern Iowa, it is rumbling through there. There are tornado watches and warnings. Storms are reaching incredible heights. There's storm tops right there at the 50,000 foot range and climbing. And I want to talk about that real quick while we're here. I've got a lot of things to share with you guys in this video. A wild example of hail that more than likely they're possibly seeing in northern Illinois and eastern Iowa right now. You guys are going to see a purple roll cloud of all things. You're going to see something that appears to have entered the atmosphere. Like I said in the title of the video, I'm going to show you something that was videoed by a gentleman in Victoria, Australia, that he saw it after the fact, but there was just enough cloud cover in the sky to reveal that some sort of an object entered the atmosphere, left an impression in the sky, and then disappeared. Totally cool video. Totally cool. You guys are going to love it. I'm just writing. I had to write down. This is the afternoon video is all business. I've got 10 windows open. I can tell you exactly how many I've got open. I have 15 windows open, and we've got multiple videos over here to share with you guys. I've been working on these since this morning. You're going to see, I've got a hurricane update and a flash update. But first, we got to take care of this business right here. If you guys are in the Central Plains, big heads up. I want to show you what the National Weather Service is showing. These rectangles on here, the red rectangles represent tornado watches. The bright red one up here represents, I'm assuming, a tornado warning. Let's see if we click on it. Yes, that is a tornado warning right there in that area. See it right there? It expires in 5 minutes. But that means there's been a tornado spotted either in the sky or on the ground or both. That would be just east of Milwaukee, west of Milwaukee, moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, southeast of Madison, Wisconsin. But as you can see down in the Davenport, Iowa area, moving through northwestern Illinois, Dubuque, Iowa, receiving rainfall rates right now of probably 2 inches or more per hour. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, whenever I see these types of storms brewing on the weather maps, I'm going to give you guys the best heads up that I possibly can. There's high winds, heavy rain. Again, rain coming down. Let's see right here. Rain in this green corral usually means, yeah, that's a flash flood warning for the next 8 hours in the Cedar Rapids area, Anamosa area, Benton area, Iowa City, north of Iowa City. Hang on, guys. It's going to be an eventful night. If you're in these areas right here, once again, have a plan, have a safe room, an interior room with no glass, and be prepared for power outages. In fact, let's look at the power outage situation real quick, and then we're going to get down to business. You ready? Here we go. I'm not surprised. Iowa right now already looking at 29,000, almost 30,000 customers without power as a direct result of this humongous storm system that is developing literally right now as I do this video. Absolutely unbelievable. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Here we go. I want to show you something that's probably going on in northern Illinois, something that looks a little bit like this. I took the sound out of this thing because it was so incredibly loud, but you get the idea. Where in the world? Oh, it's over here. My bad. Here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, right here. Right by the super duper chat. Yeah, we had okay, hold on, bear with me, guys. Here we go. Check this out. Talk about some hail. Look at this. This is probably what's going on in northern Illinois right now in eastern Iowa. This is at least 2-inch hail. This is a video I've had for a while, but I saw the storm tops brewing and the convection. They're reaching up into that. The storms are reaching up into that super cold air. And anybody that's got a swimming pool in their backyard, I'm sure they've been using it because it's been so hot. That's what hail looks like, the size of tennis balls falling from the sky at about 90 miles an hour when it lands in a swimming pool. You don't want to be out in that, that's for sure. If you are, you want to have on a football helmet. Unbelievable. So I'm pretty sure from the looks of this storm activity, yes, there are large chunks of hail falling from the sky, especially in southeastern Iowa, and looks like to me west and northwest Illinois, but that's an ongoing developing system. Very, very heavy rain indeed. Be safe out there, guys. Don't forget the super chats. If you guys have any questions or topics you'd like to talk about or mention, by all means, become or share a super chat. I don't miss those. Those are priority. And also become a Star family member. If you look in this video in the description box, it's super easy and it's cheap as a cup of coffee. Yeah. Not that our information's cheap. I try to give you guys top-notch stuff. In fact, I do. I give you guys some of the most rare footage, if not the rarest footage in the world, like the crown flash. That's the rarest video in the entire world. That's the best capture that anybody's ever seen, myself included. Jeff from Independence, Missouri spotted that, and so I've been spotted a few dozen times since record keeping began. I'm going to take you guys now to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Check this out. This was during an eclipse a couple years ago. This craft, whatever it is, I've got it paused right now for the time being. You can see it right here. Over here on the left, I zoomed in. The right is the original, on the right-hand side is the original vertical video. And guys, when you're filming videos, I know most of you know, we're just inclined to start filming like this because this is how we use our phones. We use our phones 90% of the time, 95% of the time probably, in a vertical position. When you're texting, if you're calling somebody, if you're looking at one of your apps. But if you're filming a video, before you press the record button, if you don't press the record button, your video will be sideways, or it'll be even worse. Turn your phone sideways, then press the record button, just like this right here. It wouldn't have been a vertical video, then I could have zoomed in, much better, and it would have been a wide field of view. So always turn your phone to the horizontal position, then press the record button. But check this out. This wasn't an airplane, wasn't a helicopter, and certainly wasn't a drone. This was pretty good size. Check this out. Let me zoom in for you. You can see the original over there on the right. We're going to zoom in even closer. Look at that. Something was sitting up there watching the eclipse. This was during a lunar eclipse. Young lady sent me more than one video of this thing, whatever it was, sitting in the sky. It was just off the coast of Fort Lauderdale, out above the ocean, wasn't making any sound, sitting at a slight angle. Look at that. Kind of tucked in behind the moderate cloud cover. There wasn't a whole lot of cloud cover there, but some. It wasn't really trying to hide. It was revealing itself. There's the original, once again on the right, zoomed in on the left. I don't know what that was. She didn't know what it was either, but I received 2 videos from 2 different people. The other one, I have it in another folder. I just forgot to get it out. Honestly, I just thought of it now, but there were 2 people that saw this unusual phenomena in the sky right off the coast of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Strange craft observing the eclipse. I've seen that myself. With another witness, saw a craft observing an eclipse back in, I want to say it was 2017, 2018-ish, right around in there. We were watching the eclipse off the balcony, and at the same time, my son-in-law looked up at me and he goes, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Yes, I saw that. It was a black triangle." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. He saw it as well. Something else I wanted to touch base. So that's not the first time I've seen something like that. I've seen a black triangle observing an eclipse with my own 2 eyes. About 7 years ago, I think it was. Didn't get a picture of it because I didn't have time. And I did have a smartphone. I did have a chance. But by the time we both processed what we were seeing, myself included, and I looked at him, he looked at me, we looked up, and it just disappeared. It didn't take off, go right, left, up or down. It just disappeared, like it melted into the sky. It just went invisible. Totally wild. And it was black, and you could see 3 points of light on the corner. If I had to guess how high it was, I would say it was way up above, probably 55,000 feet. It was up there a good ways. Yeah. There's a new earthquake swarm. The one over in Japan, from what I can see here, now I'm not showing all of the little 2.0s, 1.0s. I mean, those happen all the time in California and people don't even feel them. So I just have it set for earthquakes, I believe above 4. Yeah, above 4 over here in Japan. And as you can see, the quakes are slowing down. There's only been 1, 2, 3, 4 today. The yellow circles represent a week. So, and these are above 4. I think there was one that was a 5.5 on the 6th, and then a 5.0 today. So the quake activity, at least in Japan, from what I can tell, is slowing down a little bit. I'm not surprised. I've seen swarms of thousands of quakes years ago down in the South Pacific that went on for several weeks, and then one day they just started slowing down, and they're no longer doing it today. However, I will say there's a new swarm in Southern California. Here we go. I'm going to show you guys where it's at. This is like the 3rd time this has done this in probably, I don't like, why is that? What is that terrain feature? We've got to do better than that, right? Where's the Salton Sea? Right there. That's why. Okay. There's an ongoing swarm right now, right there. It's been there before, and it's back. And these are all quakes just, I think, in the last 24 hours. Yes, 4.3, I believe, started the party. Look at the cluster of quakes. Salton Sea. This is a hot spot. It's known for its swarming activity. So there's something here. I'm sure if we click on the faults, let's click on the fault lines. Where are the fault lines? We want to see the fault lines. Okay, there we go. U.S. faults. Well, there's not a fault line right there specifically underneath the swarm of 73 earthquakes right here in the last 24 hours. So that is equally as important as the one over in Japan. You have a lot of, the population is more dense here in this area, not necessarily at the Salton Sea, but in Southern California. So the quakes have slowed down a little in Japan. They picked up over here in Southern California. So something that we're keeping an eye on. This, once again, is a swarm-prone area. This isn't the first time we've seen swarms in this area, but as you can see all the way up through here, Southern California, there's quakes here all the time. So we talked about that yesterday, the rumor going around of a 9.6 being forecast for August the 4th. It's just simply not true. Hey, Team Alaska. Oh, there's the first super chat. You're welcome. Aces for Amy. Thank you for the super chat. Let me give you a like right there. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So quakes in Southern California and California are like peanut butter and jelly. It's been that way for years, guys. But as far as a 9.6, don't believe that's going to happen. Nobody has that type of ability to predict earthquakes, when and where. We might be able to say, hey, there's going to be an earthquake on such and such day range, a 3-day range, a 72-hour range. Okay, I'll go along with that. There's some people that are pretty decent. And if you work hard enough at anything, but it's still very, very unpredictable. And there's not any type of instruments that you could use that would even foretell. I mean, you can foretell swarms and things like that, but as far as saying, hey, there's going to be a 9.0 on such and such day at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, no, that's not going to happen. Chip Happen, thank you for the super chat, sir. Here in Fort Lauderdale, we have anomalies 24/7. I sent you a 7-minute orb. Thank you, Chip. Yes, sir, that is absolutely correct. I have seen those orbs off the coast of Fort Lauderdale. But I want to stick to the topic at hand real quick. But thank you for the super chat, guys. Keep them coming. There's orange, there's red, there's the beautiful green we see right here, blues. Pick your favorite color. But I wanted to show you guys something. Remember a couple of days ago, we talked a lot. In fact, we went into detail about the situation in the Southern Ocean with the currents. Well, one in particular being reversed right here around Antarctica, creating an increase in the salinity of the water down there. And then, of course, CO2. We even confirmed the CO2 on it's a website that I've used for many, many years, Ventisky. So there's an increase in CO2 and then, of course, the salinity. And this information comes from the European Space Agency. This is a space agency that's highly respected, okay? I mean, these people are very intelligent people. And they're the ones that talked about this. Using data from the SMOS satellite, scientists have revealed a surprising shift in the Southern Ocean. Surface waters around Antarctica are growing saltier even as sea ice is diminishing rapidly. This finding defies the norm because melting ice typically freshens water, not makes it saltier. The implications are far-reaching, as changes in this remote region can disrupt global currents, affecting climate patterns and alter ecosystems far beyond the Atlantic. And I totally agree with that. We don't want the ice to melt down in Antarctica because it could open up Pandora's box, literally. Okay? But check this out. I ran across this today and I was like, are you serious? I mean, I think maybe because they didn't get on the story when it first came out, now they're going to fact check it and say it's false. So I'm not going to give it too much screen time here, but if you see that, I don't necessarily believe that that this is true, okay? Yeah, they're up here saying that the water current down there did not reverse. I'll show you what it said. They did their study, they did their research, and they came down here and said, nope, that's false. So they're in disagreement with the scientists and the satellite information that the scientists used to make this determination. So we're just going to, in fact, we're going to X out of that right now. I was just like, okay, let's just keep the narrative, make it more confusing. No. So no, the water has in fact changed. I've even seen evidence of it myself over at Ventisky, and Ventisky is very good, has been good for many, many years. So, now I'm on board with ESA. You guys ever see a purple roll cloud? Check this out. You're going to see one right now. I've found some things that I want to share with you guys because I know a lot of you have not seen these. I'll show you the owl again. What's this one? The Florida. Oh yeah, I showed that one. Check this out. Here we go. Purple roll cloud. This thing doesn't look natural. Not quite sure of the location. They didn't tell me the location, but this was sent in recently of a purple. And I know this is atmospheric optics. It's the angle, the sun angle, the location of the roll cloud, if that's in fact what it is. What is going on here? Is this more weather modification? You know, there's been some talk about weather modification here just in the last couple of days, and I don't want to dive too deep down in that rabbit hole, but I have been doing some research on the whole weather modification thing, and I've done it before. It's just been a while. There's a lot more information available today than when I studied it 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it supposedly didn't even exist. Well, now all of a sudden it does exist, and the information is available to the public. We'll talk about that later. I don't want to dive too deep down that rabbit hole right this minute because I have some more work I have to do myself. Check this out. Are you serious right now? You can see what almost looks man-made, right? Is it man-made? Good grief. Look at that thing. That's probably the most bizarre roll cloud I think I've ever seen, and I've seen a bunch. You guys send me photos of roll clouds, wild shelf clouds, but I've never seen one purple, and there's a reason why I'm sharing this purple one with you guys, because what we're going to look at next, you're going to see a purple. Here's a closer view, and I kind of modified this segment just a little bit. You can see I brightened it up because of that center feature. That's what had me so perplexed. The center feature of this, I'm assuming it's a roll cloud because I don't know what else to call it. Unless it had some other purpose. That is highly unusual. Almost looks like it's got some sort of energy flowing through the center of it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I've never seen one quite like that, guys. I had to share that with you just in case you too had never seen a bright purple roll cloud. I want to show you guys some purple skies, and I want to touch base on something that by request I've had people ask if I could reanalyze, and I will. I'll go over it again in this video. I got to find it because I got to be honest with you. When I first started this live stream, oh, there we go. Okay. Had a little bit of resistance, but worked through it. Had some resistance yesterday, which was kind of weird. I got to be honest. It was some weird resistance. Never seen anything like it. Looked like a control room. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go, guys. And we're going to get to, did something go through the top of the atmosphere? Yes, something did, and it was spotted in Australia. Oh, it's a doozy. But this was also something that was spotted in the air. First, I want to show you the purple sky because it goes along with the purple roll cloud. Lassie Banks sent in this video of a very, very purple sky. So to me, this reminds me of like the highest frequency level, you know, that would be in the purple range. So we've got a frequency going on here, possibly. Maybe it's just atmospheric optics, maybe a combination of both. But on this day, as you can see, as she could see, for miles and miles and miles in both directions and all the way in front of her, the sky was brilliant purple. More purple sky. Check this out. Jeff out of Yellow Springs, get this out of the way. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Another example of that purple sky. This was during a thunderstorm, and at this moment in time, the sky was a deep purple, almost looked like that purple haze. And it even, you can even look at the road and the driveway there, reflecting the purple from the sky. Again, by request, I want to share this with you guys in case you haven't seen this. This is one of the strangest things you'll ever see in the Earth's sky. And we've seen a lot of strange things in the Earth's sky. This was approximately 4 miles high. It was seen a few months ago. This is several thousand feet. And this is the original beginning of the video. Unedited, this is just how I received it. This is how high up in the sky this thing was, whatever it may be. But what we're going to do is go in and take a much closer look. And it too was purple by the time we got way up here. I mean, I zoomed and zoomed and zoomed, and then I did some modification work to this thing. This was an incredible catch. Tegan, I think was his name. Yes, Tegan caught this above Washington. Tegan Hare above Washington. Okay, I'm zooming in closer and closer. And the nice thing about this video was It was in 1080 format, so it kept the clarity. He had his phone sideways. In fact, I pumped this up to 4K. What you're looking at is in 4K. So we're going to go in even closer. This thing was just sitting in the sky. It's purple. It's honestly one of the most bizarre videos I've ever analyzed. As far as a definitive conclusion as to what we're looking at here, it's wide open to interpretation. Yeah, Tegan Hare out of the state of Washington. We're still trying to figure out what this is. This takes the cake. This was spotted in the sky above your planet. Look at that. Wait till we zoom in a little closer. We're going to go in even closer, and I modify the lighting just a little bit because it was just a simple inversion. I didn't do too much to it because I wanted to keep it as original as possible. Notice how the clarity is still excellent because it was in such good quality. The original recording, there's hardly any pixelation here at all, and I was able to bump it up to 4K. Sometimes I can do that. Not all the time, but sometimes I can. Look at the weird features on this thing. This is by request. I had multiple people, believe it or not, in the last couple of weeks ask me if I could just show this again and reanalyze it again. They wanted to see it again. So here we go. Notice the unique feature on the front of this thing. The circle with the X in the middle. I mean, seriously, you can't make this stuff up, guys. I wouldn't know how. Who's got this kind of imagination? There's the circle with the X, got something inside. They called it a question mark when they asked me to review this. They said, could you show the purple question mark again? And I'm like, purple question mark? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that thing. So here it is. It's not purple right now. Here it is. This is in an X-ray format. Check it out, man. Are you serious right now? Okay, you can see the circle and the X really well. What's going on the inside of this thing? Again, guys, we're still trying to figure out what this was. Here, I just kind of turned it over on its side just to get a little different perspective of it, maybe to see something different. And it didn't really reveal anything different, except it gave us a little better view of the circle X feature on the front top side of it, I guess. Yeah, this was a real doozy right here. Probably 4 miles high. Oh, well over 20,000 feet. Just kind of sitting there, like it was observing what was going on in that particular area. The state of Washington is where this was at. Here's another format right here, and I zoom in on the circle. Looks like a nearly perfect circle, right? Cross members in the center that form an X. I'm sure it had a purpose of some sort. Here it looked really good. And again, the clarity was outstanding. This video, once again, was in super high resolution, and I made it even more clear. I put it up to 4K. Probably could have went higher, but I didn't. There you go. Make that make sense. Are you serious right now? Very cool. Here it is in an even different format, and it just kind of, it saturated the light a little bit. But sometimes when you're analyzing images and videos and things like that, it's a give and take situation. You may have to give up something in order to gain something. And we did gain a little bit of clarity on the circle and the X, but obviously it oversaturated the light features on the inside of this thing, which there were a few. Now here's where we can kind of see the inner workings of this thing. I thought this one turned out pretty wild. Circle again, I don't know what's going on the inside of this thing. It was almost a semi-transparent, you know what I mean? It was purple, but it looked like it had a semi-transparent personality because you could see the inside of this thing. So whatever it was, maybe it had purple lights, or it was just, I don't know, purple in nature. Here it is. Here they are side by side. And all I did was This is the original over here on the left. I flipped the one on the right just to kind of see what they look like side by side. And there's just one. There were not two in the sky, just one. I don't know. Looking at this one here, you can see almost what looks like a head. That's the first time I've noticed it. Like a profile of a head of some sort of a weird creature, a mouth right there maybe. Honestly, that's the first time I've noticed that, because I think other people wanted to see it too. That's why they asked me if I could show it again. I just noticed that. That does kind of look like a profile of something. I don't know. It was just weird, guys. Still trying to figure out what in the world is going on above our world. There are so many weird things people are seeing in the skies. I get videos and photos every day. Here's a close-up of that profile. See it right there? Maybe I don't know. I mean, you can probably see for yourself. Go 100 different ways with this thing here. But we're still, again, at a loss for words with this thing. Spotted in the sky above Washington. So purple, purple, and more purple. Here we've had an earthquake, it looks like, in the last few minutes here. Southern California, that's a small one, but you can see the swarming appearance here on the map. It looks like earthquake activity is picked up just a little bit just in the last week in Southern California. All right, guys, I want to take you to, quick hurricane update. I'm not going any farther than 5 days, so the 5-day forecast for the Atlantic Basin, the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf, and over here in the Pacific for the next 5 days should be zero activity, but like any forecast, it can and will change. But from what I saw, all of my sources are telling me that there should be no hurricane activity in at least the next 5 days. We're not going to go any farther than that. Just because of everything that's going on. So a really cool photo today over here at the homepage of the website. Get a load of the snow white halo from Corpus Christi Beach, Texas by Jake Clear. How about that? And I didn't do anything to that photo. That's exactly how I received it. Super, super cool. Speaking of cool, here we go. I'm going to take you guys down to, let me find which one I've got open here. I've got like 19 windows open here. No, just kidding. I have a lot though. Where did it go? Did I close it? I think I did because I had so many. So that's our Australia base map. So we're going to go over here just a little bit. This is where this next video is from. Easy enough. Right here. It's out of Victoria, Australia. Right here in this area. That's where we're going. Here we go. What came through the atmosphere? Video footage taken by Heath, who did an incredible job. He was very alert, and he noticed something unusual in the sky. To me, this is way more than just a hole punch cloud. In fact, I'm not so sure I'm on board with how the hole punch cloud phenomena even works anyway. But check this out. You see something over here in the sky that has a very definitive shape. That's what caught Heath's attention. And then it's what he saw behind it that's what made him get out his video camera and start recording. 7/5 of 2025. He zooms in on this feature that's, I don't know, kind of shaped like what? Guitar pick, maybe? It doesn't look like a random cloud, right? Looks like it's of intelligent origin. Oh, wait till you see what's up here. Looks like this thing, as you're going to see here in just a minute, I zoomed in on the left, the original vertical videos over here on the right. Now he's going to turn his recording device, to the right. Look what he sees. Big old trail in the sky. Spans way across the sky, as if this thing, whatever it was, hit the atmosphere, was moving at a high rate of speed through the atmosphere, departed or impacted, whatever, right over here. It turned, left that signature in the cloud bank of its shape, and the clouds identified its shape, Heath just happened to be standing out there at the right place at the right time, and there it was. As it departed, maybe it didn't go all the way down to the surface. There it is again. How do you define that? It's like a spade, I don't know, guitar pick. Definitely doesn't look natural. No way is that natural. And not only that, the very long trail behind it is very telling. Here it is in a different format, and you can see the trail connects to whatever that was in the sky above Australia 6 days ago. There it is right there. This is in a different format. You can see it curved and stopped right there. Didn't actually curve. It did like a hard pivot, like it hit the atmosphere, stopped almost immediately after a 90-degree left-hand turn, and there it sat. Or it disappeared, whatever it was. Look at that. Look at the trail behind it. They're connected. Now, those probably didn't last very long, the trail, because there's winds up there. So he just happened to be outside right after this event occurred. He probably just missed it by just a matter of seconds, because the wind is going to cause that stuff to blend in like a normal sky. That's a trail from that object that it interacted with the atmosphere. It sure did. And there it is right over there. See how it pivoted? It went down and then just kind of stopped. Again, truth is stranger than fiction. Our skies are trying to tell us a story. Like these weird flashing lights around the world, they're trying to tell us a story too. There's something going on up there. That's not natural. No way, man. Here's another format, and it brings it out even more. Looks like an elongated, I don't know, guitar pick is how I would describe it. But being up in the sky, that feature right there was probably 10,000 feet. Difficult to say. I would say 10,000. So probably 100 feet wide, or at least 100 feet long. Probably 50 feet wide. And then here's the trail it left behind as it came just barreling through the atmosphere. Look at that. That's not from an airplane. That's from the object. Right there. It's totally obvious. Yay, Heath. Good job, man. Talk about being at the right place at the right time, and had his camera ready. And that's the nice thing about these smartphones. Yeah, I know sometimes they can be a little annoying. I know here recently we've been getting just spam after spam after spam phone call. Went on the do not call list. That didn't work. Still get them. I did. My wife did. Here it is again in a different format. Check it out. I was trying to pull forward as many things as I could because things like this don't come around very often. This is ultra rare. I have never seen anything like this. Much like the purple UAP that you just saw from Washington. I'd never seen anything like that either. So you guys are getting a real treat in this live stream. This is some rare stuff. This is rare footage that you may not see anywhere else in the world. As far as I know, he shared it with me. He took the video and shared it with me, and I'm sharing it with you guys. And here you go. A very unique event according to what we're seeing here in these clouds. And if the clouds weren't there to tell us this story, we probably would have never known. Heath would have never known if it wasn't for the clouds. On this day, the clouds told the story. Some days it's the lights flashing. They're telling us a story, guys. They are feeling the presence of something. There's way too many lights malfunctioning around the earth. Now, I thought this one here turned out really cool. It almost looks, you can almost see a three-dimensional, and it's just the app that I used. It's the modification that I made. Look at that. There's your guitar chip, or pick. Isn't that wild? I mean, from this perspective, it almost looks like it's still sitting there. And I don't think it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. Unreal. And you can see how it did the pivot, went down, stopped, and then went right there. Like it had air brakes, went down and did the pivot. There's the trail again. Totally cool. Something entered the atmosphere from somewhere, and it came in above Victoria, Australia. Right there it is. Outstanding footage by Heath, once again from Victoria. And that occurred just 6 days ago. It'll be 7 now on Australia time, the 5th. Super cool. So something did enter the atmosphere. Where did it come from? What was it doing, and where did it go? That is not natural. That looks like it's of intelligent origin, 100%. Great catch, Heath. Thanks for sharing. Once again, from right here in Victoria, Australia. What else have I got for you guys? I've got all kinds of stuff today. Oh, something that I saw, and this goes back. Hey, Polenta. Polenta has been a star family member for a long, long time. I think the earth is flat and round. Anyone else has its crickets or grasshoppers? Thank you, Polenta. Thank you for the question. I haven't noticed. Thank you for the super chats, guys. Susan Donahue, thank you very much for the super chat. Don Robinson, thank you for the super chat. That is outstanding indeed. I want to show you guys something. I want to stay on task, but thank you for the super chats. Keep them coming, guys. Bless your hearts. That is so cool. Where are we at? Thank you again, Polenta, Susan, and Don Robinson. Check this out. I saw this. I didn't see this in time, this one here, but it's exactly what I saw the morning of October 18th of 2017. I saw that in the sky at 5:10, 5:15 in the morning. It was flying through the sky, heading towards where Polenta is at over in California. I'm in Arizona. I just happened to look up at the right time. Polenta Forest, thank you. And this was headed towards Polenta in the sky. Thank you for the super chat, Polenta. It looked exactly like this, but it was a little darker. This photo was sent in by an anonymous person. I saved it simply because I saw something like this myself. It was moving very, very quickly. It was about as big. In fact, I couldn't believe how big it was. The only reason I saw it, and these are real, guys, I promise you these are real. I've seen two by sheer accident, just by sitting outside in the morning, drinking coffee early in the morning in the fall. I don't go out too much during the summer and I have coffee because it's just too hot. But in the fall, it feels nice, The temperature's in the mid-50s, low 60s. To sit outside and look at the stars and drink coffee, it's great. Well, I wasn't expecting to see a boomerang fly over my head, but I did, and it was flying from southeast to northwest, right towards Sacramento, California, or at least the Pacific West Coast. It was exactly that big. The top of it had 5 openings, and they weren't openings, they were dull orange lights, very dull orange, light orange, not bright orange, not red, not pink, not blue, dull orange. Why is my... I don't know, I got my goals somehow. Hey, what's up, Team Alaska? Yeah, I saw it, yeah. And you know what? I'll tell the story a million times and the story will never change because it's true. When you tell the truth, your story never changes, and that story will never change. And there were 5, I'm assuming they were portals on the top, because I don't think this thing was, thank you, Team Alaska. Yeah, I saw that. It was headed towards the Pacific coast. I wrote it down. In fact, you know how they always say, well, whenever you... Obviously, I only saw it for 2 seconds, so I didn't have time to grab my phone and get a photo, and I'm not so sure it would have worked out anyway. Thank you for the super chat, Team Alaska. So I came inside and I wrote down my experience on a piece of paper. In fact, I have it. I know I have it somewhere here in my office. I don't know where it's at right now because I didn't think I would be reading off of it, but I wrote down the exact experience, the exact date, time, what it looked like. I drew the neighbor's house. I drew the back fence, the trees. There's only one tree over there, and it went over the tree. And if it hadn't have tilted a little bit, it's going like this. It tilted. I was able to see the orange, the color of orange that Team Alaska just sent on the super chat. It was that color of orange, just a little bit lighter. but you were able to see it. If it hadn't have tilted, it was the same color of black as the sky. And I think that's how these things avoid detection, is because they've got the paint down. If they use paint, maybe they're cloaking, I don't know. I don't think this one was cloaked because I could see it once it tilted. But the black paint matched the sky. Not rocket science, it's just science. If you don't want to be seen, blend in with your environment, Gwendolyn. Thank you for the green super chat. So the idea is to paint these things the same black color as the sky. But when you tilt, they're exposed. Very much appreciated. Exact story never changes when you tell the truth. Yeah, that's true, Gwendolyn. That is a true story. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, if you're telling the truth, the story never changes. And that story will never change. I've got some other stories that I'm going to share with you guys in a book. I'm starting to write a book, and I think that's what happened with my computer yesterday. I'm not sure, but something weird happened with my computer when I was in the middle of the live stream. I had the monitor, which is over here now on my right. This is where you guys are at. This is where I'm seeing the super chats come through, and I can see the comments come through. Thanks again, Team Alaska, Gwendolyn, Polenta, Dawn. But I'm writing a book. But what I've been doing is having the screen up there airplayed on a different monitor. And this one's hardwired, so it's probably why it's got a little better connection. I think when it was airplayed, it was exposed, and I think it got temporarily hacked because when exposed, I saw what looked like the inside of a room, and it wasn't my room. Very weird. Oh yeah, very weird. So now we're hardwired. This monitor is hardwired to my laptop, so we are super secure. So we're good. Something happened weird yesterday, guys, and that's why I didn't go back on, because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. I'm like, wait a minute, man, who is that? And then it just went away, and I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going back on. So the information that's going in my book is now over here on an external hard drive. I've taken it off the computer. You guys are going to love the book, by the way. I will have it done. My goal is to have it done by either the end of this year or by the end of spring next year. There's a lot of content. I want to make sure I get it right because you only get one chance to do it. But like Gwendolyn was saying, it's the truth. Everything I say in the book is going to be the truth. It's all right here and over there. The story will never change because the truth is always just the truth. When you lie, when people tell lies, their story changes. And that's one thing you can always remember. When people lie, their stories change. Polenta got a big kick out of this. I want to share this with you guys. For those of you that didn't see the visitor that we had a couple of days ago, my son and I were standing in the kitchen, and I just happened to walk over to the back door and looked out in the backyard. And on this day, it was 114, depending on what thermometer you were using. Some said 117 of all things. Well, I looked out in the backyard, and this little guy, actually he wasn't little, he was quite big. And I looked at my son, and at the time when I first saw him, and this one I had plenty of time to grab my phone and get a video, unlike something that's soaring through the sky at 1,000 miles an hour. But when I first saw him, he had his head turned away from me. I thought I was looking at a cat. And then all of a sudden, because this is like 20 yards from where we were standing, at least 20, maybe 22 yards. Right there, he locked in on us. He's like, hi guys, I see you. See when he turns around right there? How it kind of looks like a big cat sitting in there. I'm like, why is there a cat sitting in the bird bath, man? I mean, I know it's hot, but I've never seen a cat do that. This was the coolest owl ever. He was chilling, man. And owls are wise, and they're also smart. He got in the water to cool off. Yep, he was super cool. And when he flew off to the left. He had the biggest, most beautiful wingspan. The underneath of his wings were white, pure white. Just a beautiful creature. But yeah, he landed in the backyard a couple of days ago. Tried to cool them claws, you know. It was hot everywhere he went. That's why he wasn't sitting on the rim there, because the rim was hot. he said, I'm getting in, and he didn't hesitate. So pretty cool. In case you guys hadn't seen that, that was the Arizona owl, and he's part of our family. Like Polenta has a family member named Pegasus. Yes, she does. She took good care of there's an injured bird in her yard, and she nursed it back to health, and she now has a new family member. The bird lives with her now and has for, I think, going on 2 years now. Quite a story. Polenta's a good gal. I want to show you guys something. What else did I have here? Oh, I didn't want to check on the storm again real quick, because those storms were really getting gnarly here in the north central plains. Oh, wow, that is a humongous storm system. Are you serious? Let's look at the power outages. I'm pretty certain it's going to go up. Let's refresh the page. 25,000 in Iowa, 8,000, 8,500 almost in Illinois. But it's just getting going. Let's look at the radar that I use. Oh yeah, we've got still tornado watches and warnings, flash flood warnings. Special weather statements probably, or that's an eyewitness. And this has got winds and flooding rains moving through the area. And guys, I'm staying on this. I know there's other guys on it as well, but I'm staying on it too. I have for years. I'm a storm chaser. You want to know the truth? I'm a storm chaser. I've chased hurricanes around the Atlantic and not so much the Pacific, because usually the storms in the Pacific aren't really going to bother anybody. But if they're out there, I'm chasing them. And if they're coming towards land, I'm on them. So just know that I got you back this year. I've had your back every year. It's just sometimes the videos don't go nowhere, but I'm going to do them this year whether they do or not. And I'll send out alerts through the community tab of the YouTube the web app. So just subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want updates, and I'll keep you guys in the loop of hurricanes that are headed towards land. The ones that are just fish storms, we're not even going to talk about. Thank you for the super chat there, RB. I know you do, and I appreciate you. Thanks for the super chat. And as you can see, I'm wearing green today, like your super chat is green. Thank you so much. That's very, very cool. All right, guys, let me give you a quick rundown on the situation here. I keep all this information over here at the website. The sun, there's all kinds of information over here. So if you guys haven't visited the website, by all means do so, MrMBB333.com. You'll find all kinds of data over here related to the sun, the earth, and I've done studies. There's a study I did here many years ago involving the sun and you, and how the sun affects all of us, including me and you know everybody that lives on the earth, all of the creatures of the earth. The sun is responsible for everything, the frequencies that the sun's put off. What's going on with the chat over here? Oh, okay, never mind, my bad. What's going on? The chat's froze up. There we go. Okay. All right. Thank you, moderator. Thank you so much, guys, for the super chats. I don't know, my chat was froze up there for a momento. All right, guys, here we go. The sun. Where are we at? I lost my train of thought here because I've got 15 windows rocking and rolling here. Looking at the GOES X-ray flux for the last 7 days, we're starting to see an increase in solar activity. We've got some active regions and sunspots that are turning towards the Earth, so look for an increase in solar flares, CMEs. Not every solar flare has a CME, so just always remember that. But there's been a couple of M-class solar flares in the last 48 hours. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, you can see a massive gash in the atmosphere. This is just one of the many layers of atmosphere that the sun has. The sun, like the Earth, has multiple layers. When you can see a dark feature like this, It can be anywhere on the sun. This one just so happens to be on the Earth-facing side of the sun. You're looking at the surface of the sun right there. So that is raw star power coming right towards the Earth. That is unfiltered by the atmosphere. That energy, if and when it makes contact with the Earth and the Earth's Van Allen belts, magnetic shields, it can create geomagnetic storm activity without a solar flare CME. So this energy right here is very strong. And that's what I wrote my paper about right here. Was about how that energy affects everything on Earth. And it's true. But it would take a small army to, get very intricate details on how that energy affects everybody and their blood type, their age, where they live, XY chromosome, on and on and on and on. But just know at the end of the day, that energy affects your mood. It can affect the way you sleep, whether you're super hungry, or maybe you just don't have an appetite at all. All those things are factors. Yes, they are. Looking at the Earth-facing side of the sun, you can see we're starting to see some more activity with regard to sunspots in active regions. Down here in the southeastern limb, there's a large, very curious active region turning towards the Earth. So that's something that we're keeping a close eye on. This one here has made its way around. We talked about it a couple of days ago. It's not real big, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. I know right now it's got beta-gamma magnetics. If it develops delta, that means it's got horsepower for X-flares. This one down here could have delta, but it's a little too early to tell. Again, about 48 hours and we'll have a better look at it. Looking at the Schumann resonance. All in all, this week it's been somewhat busy. I've seen it a lot busier. Pretty quiet the last 72 hours. However, we're seeing a little bit of activity. Right now, literally as I do this video, we're seeing a spike above 20, 25, but nothing off the hook like we're seeing over here at the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Are you serious? Right now. These are the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. And look at what's happening at Grant Village. Earthquake activity and magma intrusion. Something's up at the supervolcano caldera. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to erupt, but there's movement, okay? We've been following movement up here along the northern rim. This caldera, the last 4 hours, there's been no data. More than likely, this thing has either done one of two things. It's broke from all the activity it's seen here the last month, or the activity has increased so much that it's just not even recording on the seismograph. Something's going on, though, up there along the northern edge. But as you can see, there's been earthquake activity at multiple seismographs. The red vertical lines all represent earthquakes, even at Mary Lake, Purple Mountain, over here at the west boundary. They're not necessarily large earthquakes, but they're earthquakes at a supervolcano, and that's a big deal. So that's something that we always keep a super close eye on. What else do I have for you guys? Oh yeah, somebody was trying to debunk the water that was not the current down in the Southern Ocean not moving. That is not true. The current down in the Southern Ocean is moving in the opposite direction, and it is stirring up CO2 off the surface of the ocean. In fact, I'll show it to you guys in my next video. The CO2 along the whole northern perimeter of the northern, eastern, and western perimeters of South America, Australia. Let's go there real quick. There's new CO2. Oh my goodness, Jeff Snyder, the man with the plan. Yeah, there's CO2 all through here. CO2's gone up and the salinity's gone up. So that's verifiable. Why they would say it was false is beyond me. I think they were just trying to get attention. I don't know. Thank you, Jeff, for the super chat. You showed satellite imagery of the sunrise shadow line moving across the face of the Earth at a 45-degree angle, and videos of sunrise at 3:20. Yes, I did. Could this be due to geophysics? Ah, Jeff, you are a smart man. Yes, you're exactly right, Jeff Snyder, too. That is an excellent question, and thank you for the super chat. Yes, of course. When the light angles change, that's another story that's just waiting to be told. And an observant man like you, everybody in this chat's observant. That would be a telltale sign that there's an unusual motion in the ocean. The Earth is moving a little bit different. If your light angles are showing up at rogue times at like 3:25 in the morning, at an odd angle, then that's definitely an indication that there's something going on, at least with the rotation and the Earth's axis. Could it be geophysical, magnetic? We don't want to talk about that because we don't want that to ever happen. At least not why any of us are here. We don't want that to ever happen. That would not be a good day. I think we would probably survive a magnetic pole shift. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. If we can avoid the major fluctuation in ultraviolet radiation, I think that would be the biggest problem. And then, of course, you know, maybe some technical issues here and there with lights and satellites and the power grids. A geophysical pole shift? That's an entirely different story there, guys. Wow, we don't want that to ever happen. No. But you know what? Ice cores and just core samples in general that they've taken from not only Antarctica, they've taken plenty of samples from Greenland and other places around the world. And those core samples also tell a story. They tell a story about the history of the Earth. And they see the polarities change every, you know, tens of thousands of years. And that implies a magnetic polarity. They've also found crustal displacement. So that would imply, like our friend Jeff Snyder too, who has a photographic memory, would imply geophysical magnetic displacement. That would be crustal displacement, tsunamis all over the Earth. It would be a complete reset. Wouldn't be a good day. So we don't want to see that day, and we don't ever want to see that day, at least not any time in the next, say, million years. How's that sound? All right, guys, I've gone through everything that I wanted to show you. That's why I made the banner that I did. Something did bounce off the top of the atmosphere down here in Australia. At least that's the way I interpret the footage that was sent in by our friend Heath, who was highly observant on July 5th, 2025, when he looked up and saw that symbol in the clouds, followed by a long trail that appeared to connect to that symbol right over there. That's why he made that video and shared it with me, because that, my friends, was no coincidence. Something did enter the atmosphere. The question of the day, that intelligent thing over there that's got angles on it that was built intelligently, probably built to fly, obviously, or it wouldn't have been way above the surface of the Earth. Where did it come from? What's it doing? And where did it go? That's the question of the day. Thank you, Heath, for the video. That was super cool. Excellent observation, man. All right, guys. Team Alaska, ears ringing. I know everybody's talking about the ears ringing. What is up with that? Is it the Schumann? Is it the magnetic pole shift that's currently underway? A lot of people think it's underway. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things it could be. Could be the core of the Earth. Could be a combination of the core and the magnetic shields weakening and quite possibly even strengthening. They're probably in a state of flux. Could be a lot of things. But one thing that people, and I notice there's a lot of people share in common, it's the ringing of the ears. And it's basically, the way I look at it, it's like this. It's the sound of silence has changed. Doesn't that make sense? The sound of silence is no longer what it used to be, say, 50 years ago. Different. And it's not just, you know, a small group of people. It's a large group of people. So could it be, oh, thank you, Kiwi Las, volcanism is what's going on here. And I've lost accounts talking on that. I've even showed stuff from NASA to back me up. Volcanism, yeah, I totally agree. Volcano, there is an uptick in volcanic activity right this very minute. I couldn't agree with you more. There's a lot going on right now. The Earth's core, I think, is responding to something. Obviously, the volcanoes are telling a story. The earthquake swarms are telling a story. These extreme weather patterns and extreme storms, like the one that's currently underway right now in the Iowa, Illinois, southern Wisconsin. Look at that squall line going across Lake Michigan. Are you serious? That's going right towards my friends Dale and Mary in southwestern Michigan. Big heads up, guys. you got a big storm coming at you. It's going to last a while. It's probably going to gain some momentum crossing Lake Michigan like that. Wow. But thank you for the super chats, guys. Yeah, people are talking about ears ringing. Ladybug Sarah, ears ringing for years. Will Yellowstone go? Aces for Amy. Yellowstone, Yellowstone's an enigma. I'm telling you, I've watched Yellowstone seismographs for years because those seismographs, like a lot of things, they tell a story. It'll probably go again someday. It's been moving for millions of years. It wasn't always up in Wyoming. Yellowstone, the caldera used to be down, I think, somewhere down here around Arizona. And it's migrated somehow. I think it's the continent has moved, and it's just moved the caldera to a different location. But yeah, they say it's overdue to erupt. We'll just have to wait and see. Listening to waterfall. Team Alaska, solution for the ringing of the ears, listening to waterfall. Good idea. Good idea. I think having any type of soothing background music would be much better than listening to the constant crickets and ringing of the ears. The sound of silence has changed. So as Team Alaska suggested, change that sound of silence. Since it has changed, make it to something you like to hear, something pleasant, like waterfall or something light background music, with nature. Use an earbud. I mean, not saying wear them all the time, but use an earbud, have something playing in the background that's comforting and relaxing instead of that, because a lot of people share that same thing. They say, oh, it's tinnitus. I'm not so sure. I think it's got something to do with our environment. I think it's got something to do with possibly all these new towers, because let's face it, we're in the communication, the digital age, technology age. These towers are constantly sending signals of frequencies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if it's not a telephone cell tower, it's a satellite sending and receiving signals. And then your Wi-Fi in your house, we got signals buzzing around all the time. So are those signals buzzing in our ears? I think some people, because at the end of the day, what the ringing of the ears really is, it's your central nervous system. It has nothing to do with your ears. It's your central nervous system. And your body is a biological antenna. You're receiving these frequencies too, even though we're not out standing in a field, like a cellular tower. You feel this energy. And I think some of us process it. Your body's ears feel that ringing. You hear that ringing sensation. Your ears are perfectly fine. It's your nervous system responding to the frequency. That's what I think. Yeah, listen to the ocean. Digital hum, right, Terry Berry. The cicadas, that's another one. Trevor, they sound like cicadas. That's a good analogy for sure. Aces for Amy. Thank you, that's very kind. Yeah, your body is. You know how you walk into a room and you people talk about it today. Oh, you can feel the vibe, you can feel the energy in the room. You want to keep things positive. Well, it's true. You are literally an antenna that not only receives energy and processes it in different ways, but you also send off energy. Your body language. People say, oh, your body language, this and that and the other. It's true. It's true. And we're all wired that way. That's how we're wired. But if you have the ringing in your ears are fine. It's your central nervous system that's very sensitive to your environment because the sound of silence has changed. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. How long have we been on here? I don't even know. I enjoy talking to you guys. It's fun. I think we've been on here for probably an hour. I don't even know where it's at. It's all good. It doesn't matter. I got through everything I wanted to get to with the exception of one, and I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. So listen, guys, thank you for the super chats. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for all the wonderful comments. I wish I could have got to them all, but the afternoon video, I'm all business. I have to stay on task. I've got, like I said, 14 tabs open up here, and I've got, I had 11 different things that I wanted to share with you guys, and I got to all of them but one, and we'll share that one tomorrow because I have to get off here for the day. So listen, it's been a pleasure. I always enjoy having you guys in my office, in the super chat. It's always fun. Thanks for the super chats again, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.